Hi Masala followers, I am in Birmingham and really excited to be at the home of one of the pioneers of the British Bhangra scene, somebody who was there at the start of a major phase in the musical history of Britain, Mr. Naresh Patel. He was in the band Apna Sangeet, and one of the really great things about Birmingham is the whole music scene, and it has had a huge influence on major famous musicians who have now become world famous, people like Apache Indian, Belly Sagu, all kind of born and bred in this area. But you know, it's interesting to meet somebody who was at the leading edge of this scene and who actually helped the scene establish itself. Thank you very much, Naresh. Tell us what it was like in the early days.
Not easy. We started, when instruments were not easy to buy, so it was not easy. Even the market was very small. But when Bhangra picked up, it picked up in a big way.
Okay.
So there were so many bands in Birmingham and in London, and we were all making good business.
Oh.
Yes.
What was different about the Bhangra that you did here in Britain?
I suppose some of the things we changed was introduced new instruments like octopad, bass guitar, drum kits, congos. It's the way we mix the music as well. We use more sub-bass, more bottom end of the music, which was not there in the old music. Even the way we presented ourselves was different. The dhol player had an inbuilt mic inside his dhol, so you just plug it into the PA, and it goes out. The sound is much better that way, acoustically.
So you actually made it much louder.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So you are responsible for all the noise in Bhangra.
You tell me about it. Yeah.
But where did these ideas come from? Was there a kind of fusion in the music and the way you presented the music and the way you packaged it? Were you drawing from ideas from different parts of the world? I mean, why is it that this kind of music did not happen in India?
I think the fusion started here, and we were looking at other bands, and we'd see what they do and they'd see what we do, and we were kind of piggybacking on each other, and it was running faster here than anywhere else in the world.
Wow.
We weren't even aware that we were changing things actually.
Okay. There is a lot of talk about the East and the West and the divide between the East and the West, and one of the things that we have strongly campaign for is the idea of fusion and actually using art. Art is the best way to fuse, because in its sense art itself is borderless. I mean, music is one of those art forms, and it is really amazing. I mean, if you look at the music scene now and how Bhangra and other influences have filtered through world music, etc., it's quite significant, and to hear that, and people all over Britain are now listening to different sounds and different musics, and even Bhangra is now being danced by English people.
That's right. Yeah. How the crossover happened when we started. Some of the Sikhs weren't wearing turbans in this country, because when they came here they couldn't find work, and they had to cut their hair to get work. And when we were playing, slowly and slowly we saw even young kids started wearing turban, asking us some of the words, what some of the words meant. So in fact it looked like the culture was coming back, people were going back to the roots.
So in a way, the music that you created helped give people an identity,
yes,
and a sense of self-belief and self-confidence.
Yeah.
And perhaps even it gave them a sense of identity, because you must have felt displaced.
Definitely.
You come from East Africa to Britain.
Yes.
Cold weather and cold food and cold people, and then you kind of used your music to lift your spirit up.
We did.
And actually, you lifted the spirit up of the whole society with you.
Yeah.
Wow, that is phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, although I was in a Punjabi band, it made my family utmost proud, that I had gone into this. I remember when I went to Canada, and my neighbor went to my mom's house, I saw my photo as Apna Sangeet and said, "What are you doing with Apna Sangeet's photo?" And she said, "That's my son in there." She couldn't believe it, you know.
So your music actually went all around the world?
Oh, we've gone all the way around the world, yes.
And you actually toured as well?
Yes.
I believe you actually took this music from here to India?
We did.
You are kidding me.
No, we did.
When was that?
We recorded Tour India, this album here, nearly 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
20 years
so
ago.
Music which had some Indian roots and mixed in the West actually went from here to India, back.
Yes, you see, they were crazy, especially in Delhi. We played at the Taj Palace in Delhi, and they had not seen anything like that, because by then our tabla player was, you know, standing upright on a cross keyboard stand with a platform. We were all standing upright, playing almost like an English band, but sounding Punjabi.
Wow.
Yeah,
so I mean, that's interesting also, the fact that you are not Punjabi, but you were playing Punjabi music with a group of Punjabis. How did you manage that transformation? Because
there is no difference.
You are from a different culture.
There is no difference in music.
Music brings people together.
Yes, there is not much difference between Hindi and Punjabi.
Okay.
There is not much difference.
Okay.
To me, it isn't.
Yeah.
I can just, I make melodies fluently, you know, Punjabi, Hindi, it's the same to me.
But it's also possible that because of your own personal cultural upbringing and open-mindedness, you didn't have a problem with borrowing good ideas and working with different people and actually bringing out the best out of that.
That's right, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. And you're still living in Birmingham?
Yes.
Yeah. So you and you know, your music is still spreading and is still being listened to.
That's
How does it feel?
I feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still good. Yeah.
And now this theory, this concept of music has now become very big in India.
Yeah. Funny enough, you know, like people like if you listen to some of the stuff that we used to produce and compare it with what the Lair Mehndi and what Miss Pooja are doing now, even the mixing style and the instruments and whatever they play, they've listened to what we've done, and now they're reproducing that in India and putting it on the movies.
Wow. So you were really at the forefront of the creative end. So what is it about Birmingham? Why is Birmingham the hotbed of the fusion music scene? What is the chemistry of Birmingham?
I have no idea. I think culturally we quite close here. Leicester is very Gujarati, London is a bit scattered, and Birmingham is close, and you have got close community between Punjabi, Gujarati, and even the Muslims. When we used to play in the nightclubs, we used to have all sorts of people coming there.
So the performers were mixed and the audience was mixed, and that encouraged more and more fusion.
That's right, yeah.
So you're saying it's a close-knit community, diverse but integrated.
Yes.
And that brought out the best.
I think the formula in Birmingham is right.
Okay.
You know, for anything, you know, for us.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, can you say a little bit about some of these? I understand there were particular geographical areas in Birmingham, like Handsworth, where there was a lot of fusion.
Yes, Handsworth is mainly Punjabi.
Yeah.
And I think 4 of the people in the band came from Handsworth.
Okay.
So one of our songs is Soho Road, the main road which goes through Handsworth, and it was.
It's like Penny Lane.
It was, yeah. You sing about the area you live in, you know, so it was a bit like that.
What about your parents? Did they not ask you to get a proper job?
Well, my parents were not even in the country, but my wife thought that I didn't have a proper job being in the band. she was not secure for me being in the band. Okay. And it's not secure, because at one time we had a friction and I left the band for a month, and then I rejoined it because
the income is not secure.
We saw a difference. Well,
the timings are different. You have to travel.
Traveling. We were traveling a lot. We for a few years, well, for quite a lot of years, we didn't have a free weekend. I think we used to have about 2 Saturdays a year free. So it was tough,
it was
quite
really,
hard.
Really difficult.
Yeah. We never used to rehearse. There was no rehearse.
There was
no need to rehearse.
Because you were that good.
Used to play that FM.
Very good. And also congratulations on your gold album as well.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's one of them.
That's one of the. How many?
It was lucky, that we are 6 members and each of us got a disc. There's 1 platinum and 5 gold.
Wow.
And when you presented with the first gold, whoever has it kind of hangs on to it, and that's his. So.
Did you ever think that one day you'll become a published musician?
No.
So you broke your dreams, or it was beyond your dreams?
I didn't have dreams. Yeah.
You didn't have dreams.
I didn't have those dreams. No.
So you literally just followed your instinct and worked hard and kept focused.
Yes.
And somehow the results came.
That's right.
Wow. So can you roughly give some figures as to how many albums you
We released 10.
10 albums.
10
and
albums.
Total sales?
Oh, 10, I think 11 or 12. I don't know.
Million?
No. I think the time when we were in music, nearly 20 years ago, if you sold 30,000, that became gold because it was a minority market.
Correct.
So we sold 5 gold and 1 platinum.
What about 20, 30 years ago? How did English people react to your music?
They didn't know what Bhangra was.
Okay, so they didn't really follow it or anything.
No, they didn't. I think what exposed us was playing live. I think the not the Millennium Centre, the Centenary Square in Birmingham. We were one of the bands who opened the Centenary Square. So it was those kind of performance, the live performance, that exposed Bhangra into the English market.
So how do you think now that the English people are buying Bhangra and listening to Bhangra?
It's a
breakthrough.
It's a breakthrough, yeah. I think all the bands were hoping, but we weren't targeting, to be in the mainstream. We were just doing what we wanted to do. If it hits.
So friends, in Masala Britain, Masala music is also very active and alive, and you can hear it. You don't have to just listen to Radio 1 all the time, but you can hear it on many other stations, and actually you don't need to speak the language to be able to enjoy the music. So use it, enjoy it, and build bridges for a better Britain.